Good evening, I am April Agisinglama and these are the headlines of the hour. Fitch credit rating assigns Nepal a rating of BB- with a stable outlook. Nepal 2 places below India, considered better compared to many other South Asian nations. More than half of the airline companies operating in Nepal defy government directive to submit airfare detail within 24 hours. The 18 companies to submit the detail by tomorrow. Judges at the International Criminal Court ICC issues arrest warrants for Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. And Nepal Under 19 cricket team wins the 5-match one-day international series against India's Karnataka. Takes the 5th and the decisive match of the series by 7 wickets. Welcome back. Nepal has received a BB- rating by Fitch that has indicated a stable outlook. International agency Fitch credit rating has given Nepal BB- rating grade, which indicates positive investment environment. This is based on Nepal's foreign currency reserves and indicates of a reviving economy, among others. With this, Nepal is 2 places below India, which is considered good compared to many other South Asian countries. The Fitch credit rating team had done a field evaluation in September, where the team identified that Nepal's loan was lower than gross domestic product GDP and that Nepal was doing better compared to other developing nations. In general, rating from above BB- is considered good for investments. More than half of the international airline companies operating in Nepal have yet to pay heed to government directive of submitting their airfare details within 24 hours. Of the 29 international service providers operating in Nepal, only 11 have submitted their details so far. The remaining 18 have said they would do the same by tomorrow. Minister of Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation, Badri Pandey, had given the airline service providers 24 hours to submit maximum and minimum price for flight tickets. The ministry has formed a committee under the leadership of Joint Secretary to study the details submitted so far.
जुन टिकट दर कायम गर्नुभएको छ त्यो नै स्वाभाविक छ कि छैन अथवा चाहिँ त्यो हाम्रो चाहिँ स्वीकृत सम्झौता बमोजिम चाहिँ छ कि छैन एउटा दोस्रो चाहिँ त्यो टिकटको मूल्य र यात्रुहरूले किन्न परेको मूल्य बीचको अन्तर के छ त भन्ने कुराको विश्लेषण र त्यसको आधारमा कुनै कैफियत देखियो भने कुनै पक्षबाट कानुन विपरीतका गतिविधिहरू भएको देखियो भने त्यसलाई कानुन बमोजिम चाहिँ प्रभावकारी ढंगले कारबाहीका प्रक्रियाहरू अगाडि बढाउने गरेर मन्त्रालयले गृह कार्य गरेको छ.
Airline service providers have hiked flight fares by up to 2 times since Trivandrum International Airport began halting daily operation by 10 hours for construction works. The hike had affected migrant workers and tourists the most. Sometime back, an agreement was reached between the government, travel agencies and international airline service providers not to hike fares. However, the agreement has yet to come into effect. Daily services at the Trivandrum International Airport are halted between 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. for upgradation works. This was expected to reduce international flights by 35% initially. However, just around 4 flights are being affected at the moment. 48 flights landed and took off on a daily basis at the airport before the upgradation. The number has come down to 44 at the moment. Airline service companies have hiked their fares in the pretext of reduced number of flights. Now moving on, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has expressed his dissatisfaction, stating the administrative sector is not delivering results in a way that citizens can feel or experience. After reviewing the 3-month progress of the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers office, instructions were given to ensure visible and impactful results. Emphasis was placed on delivering outcomes that resonate with the public rather than getting caught up in administrative procedures. He expressed his dissatisfaction, citing irregularities in the method used to determine rates at customs.
चिट टाँसिदिने त्यो हुन्छ नि त्यो पास भनेर टाँसिदिनेको भाग यति गरेर त्यहाँ यति भन्ने त त्यो त कानुन बमोजिम जस्तो भएको छ।
Prime Minister Oli has directed an end to the practice of purchasing government materials without putting them to use.
खोलिकन राखेको छ परापूर्व कालमा ल्याएको अहिले प्रसाद यादव खोल्दाखेरि ल्याएको त्यो खोलेको छैन किन ल्याएको केही छाप्न ल्याएको कि अर्थकै उद्देश्यले त्यो किनेको किन्न परेको छाप्नलाई कि अर्थकै प्रयोजनका लागि किन्न परेको भन्ने कुरो कसरी छुट्याउने भन्ने दुविधा छ त्यहाँ किन किनेको।
Premier Oli expressing dissatisfaction with the quarterly progress reports presented by employees directed them to change their mindset and approach. He stressed the importance of showcasing tangible improvements, particularly in areas like income growth and future reviews. The Premier also emphasized the need for employees to focus on promoting good governance, controlling revenue leakage, and maximizing resource utilization. It is time now for a short break. We have more news coming up. The victims of cooperatives are still protesting in the capital, demanding the return of their savings. The victims protested at the Maiti Court, saying that the agreement reached 3 times was not implemented and money deposited in the cooperatives was not returned. They alleged that the government is silent on the sufferings of the citizens despite millions of rupees being stolen. The cooperative victims have warned that they will not stop their agitation until they get justice. Now, Supreme Court is to review its verdict on the criteria of building infrastructures around riverbanks within Kathmandu Valley. The government had vacated the apex court's decision some time back that prohibited construction of infrastructures within 20 meters of riverbanks and decided to file for a review. A full bench of Chief Justice Prakash Man Singh Rao, Justices Kumar Chidal and Nityananda Pandey made a decision in favor of the government to review its previous verdict. A bench of 3 or more justices of the Supreme Court will now hear the case before handing out a final decision. Locals in this concerned regions had been agitated after the Supreme Court's decision had halted sales of their lands within the no construction zone. An application was filed at the Supreme Court demanding for a reconsideration of the Office of the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers and the Office of the Attorney General. Nepal, speaking on behalf of the G77 and China, along with Uganda, Malawi and Bangladesh, addressed the climate summit in Baku with a strong call for action. The delegation emphasized the need for ambitious climate finance goals and robust emission reduction plans to limit global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius, highlighting the devastating impacts of climate change, including floods and glacier outbursts. Nepal stressed the urgency of ensuring climate finance is accessible, adequate, and primarily grant-based for adaptation, mitigation, and addressing loss and damage. Nepal urged the global community to implement the global stocktake outcomes from COP28 in Dubai, with a focus on finance and support for developing nations. Nepal also called for gender-responsive climate action, ensuring a just transition. As a mountainous nation, Nepal emphasized imbalanced impacts of rising temperatures on vulnerable regions and expressed hopes for meaningful progress at the summit for the benefit of future generations. It is time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before today's question, let's take a look at yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we had asked you, why has the trend of going abroad for work on visit visa increased? 31% voted for A, middlemen in play, 23% voted for B, lapses on part of immigration, and 46% voted for C, ignoring the risks. Now, yesterday's question, why do political parties lack consensus on foreign aid projects? Your options are A, lacking strategy, B, politicization of the project, or C, inadequate study. The voting is on. Type and EWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. In our Public Voice segment today, we have asked in several provinces, how are children using social media? Let's take a look at what they had to say.
उमेरको चाहिँ नि हिसाब राखेर मात्रै बालबालिकालाई मोबाइल प्रयोग गर्न दिए अति राम्रो हुने हो।
सामाजिक सञ्जालले अब बच्चाले धेरै कुरा सिकाएको पनि छ। उनीहरूले अब अहिले युट्युब र गुगलबाट होमवर्क उनीहरूले आफैले अब सर्च गरेर वर्ड मिनिङहरु अनि उनीहरूको प्रोजेक्टहरु उनीहरूले कम्प्लिट गर्न सक्छ।
आजकलको परिविधि अनुसार युट्युबमा मोबाइल पाएपछि गेम जस्तै अब कार्टुन यस्ता चीजहरु बढीमा गर्छन्।
केही हदसम्म चाहिँ अब सदुपयोग पनि भएको छ। उनीहरुको एकदमै दिमाग भनेको तेज दिमाग हुन्छ, स्मरण शक्ति एकदमै राम्रो हुन्छ।
10 सम्मको 12 सम्मको बच्चाहरुको धेरै जना टिचरहरुले आफ्नो युट्युब च्यानलहरु छ जसले आफ्नो लेसन वाइज टिचिङहरु गरेर राख्नु भएको छ भिडियो, त्यसबाट लर्निङ गरिरहेको पनि छ।
धेरै यसले गेम त्यसपछि गएर केहीले चाहिँ अब कार्टुनहरु हेर्छन्।
उच्छृङ्खल खालका चाहिँ भिडियोहरु यस्ता कुराहरुलाई पनि उनीहरुले कतै शेयर गर्ने कतैतिर साथीभाइको बीचमा भन्छुन गर्ने गर्छ।
गेमिङहरु देखि लिएर नलेज गेन गर्नेदेखि लिएर हरेक यो विधाहरुमा चाहिँ उनीहरुलाई आफुलाई चाहिने नलेज चाहिँ उनीहरुले सोशल मिडियाको थ्रुबाट लिइराको पाइन्छ।
फिजिकल एक्टिभिटिजमा असर परेको छ, पढाइमा असर परेको छ।
It is time for international news. Judges at the International Criminal Court (ICC) have issued arrest warrants for Israel's Prime Minister and former Defense Minister as well as Hamas military commander. A statement said a pre-trial chamber had rejected Israel's challenges to the court's jurisdiction and issued warrants for Benjamin Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant. A warrant was also issued for Mohammed Deif, although the Israeli military has said he was killed in an airstrike in Gaza in July. The judges said there were reasonable grounds the three men bore criminal responsibility for alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity during the war between Israel and Hamas. Both Israel and Hamas have rejected the allegations. It will now be up to the ICC's 124 member states who do not include Israel or its ally, the United States, to decide whether or not to enforce the warrants. In May, the ICC prosecutor Karim Khan sought warrants for Netanyahu, Galad, Deif, and two other Hamas leaders who have since been killed, Ismail and Yahya Sinwar. The prosecutor's case against them stems from the events of 7th of October 2023, when Hamas gunmen attacked southern Israel, killing about 1,200 people and taking 251 others back to Gaza as hostages. Israel responded to the attack by launching a military campaign to eliminate Hamas, during which at least 44,000 people have been killed in Gaza so far. Now, Russia has fired an intercontinental ballistic missile into Ukraine. This is the first time Russia has fired an intercontinental ballistic missile since it launched its invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. According to international media, Russia fired an intercontinental missile into Ukraine from the Astrakhan region today. Ukraine claims that Russia fired several missiles, including intercontinental, targeting the Dnipro region of Ukraine. Ukraine has not yet clarified how much damage was caused by the Russian missile attack. Russia also fired an intercontinental missile after Ukraine fired the long-range Storm Shadow missile provided by the UK into Russia for the first time. The UK has not commented on Ukraine's use of the Storm Shadow missile. However, Russia has stated that the missile came towards its territory and that two of them were destroyed in the air by its defense system. The Ukrainian Air Force confirmed that Russia had fired the missile, but Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov declined to comment. The intercontinental ballistic missile, which Russia has fired for the first time, is said to have a range of 5,000 kilometers. Ukraine used a missile it had received from Britain against Russia at a time when tensions were high over the use of long-range missiles provided by the United States. Russia fired its own intercontinental ballistic missile shortly after. Australia's centre-left government on Thursday introduced a bill in Parliament that aims to ban social media for children under 16 and proposed fines of up to 49.5 million Australian dollars for social media platforms for systematic breaches. Australia plans to trial an age verification system that may include biometrics or government identification to enforce a social media age cut-off, some of the toughest controls imposed by any country to date. The proposals are the highest age limit set by any country and would have no exemption for parental consent and no exemption for pre-existing accounts. This is a landmark reform. We know some kids will find workarounds, but we're sending a message to social media companies to clean up their act, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said in a statement. The opposition Liberal Party plans to support the bill, though Independents and the Green Party have demanded more details on the proposed law, which would impact Meta platforms Instagram and Facebook, ByteDance's TikTok, and Elon Musk's X and Snapchat. But Albanese said children will have access to messaging, online gaming, and health and education-related services, such as youth mental health support platform Headspace and Alphabet's Google Classroom and YouTube. The Albanese-led Labour government has been arguing excessive use of social media poses a risk of physical and mental health in children, in particular the risks to girls from harmful of body images and misogynist content aimed at boys. A number of countries have already vowed to curb social media used by children through legislation, but Australia's policy is one of the most stringent. France last year proposed a ban on social media for those under 15, but users were able to avoid the ban with parental consent. The United States has for decades required technology companies to seek parental consent to access the data of children under 13. We've got more news coming up, but right now it is time for yet another short break. Welcome back. Nepal Under-19 cricket team has won the 5-match ODI series against India's Karnataka. Nepal took the 5th and the decisive match of the series today by 7 wickets as Akash Tripathi and Mayan Yadav contributed half-centuries. In the match played in TU cricket ground Kantipur, the host opted to field first, having won the toss. Karnataka went all out for 191 runs. It was the first time Karnataka played full 50 overs in the series. Rohit contributed the highest 41 runs, Gagan Rao 34 and Ija 38. Captain Hemant Dhami took 3 wickets for Nepal and Abhishek Tiwari and Naren Sod 2 each. Nepal chased the victory target in 39.5 overs, losing 3 wickets. Akash Tripathi and Mayan Yadav staged a strong batting display for the opening partnership. Mayan scored personal 50 runs in 66 balls. Arjun Sod added 21 runs and Santosh Yadav 4 runs. Akash remained unbeaten at 89 runs. Narain contributed 18 runs. Pranav claimed 2 wickets for Karnataka and Tejas 1 wicket. Nepal played the series as preparation for ACC Men Under-19 Asia Cup. The families of the victims of the Cisneri incident in Makwanpur have locked the All Nepal Football Association ANFA headquarters, demanding justice. The relatives of the youth players who have lost their lives in the landslide locked ANFA today. On 27th of September, 6 youth of ANFA Vatsalya Devi Academy, located in Ward number 3 of Indra Sarwar rural municipality of Makwanpur, died in a landslide. The families of the victims of the Cisneri incident in Makwanpur have locked the All Nepal Football Association headquarters, demanding justice. They alleged that even for 54 days after the incident, there was no hearing when they demanded justice. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.